Hello, magnificent beings. This is Eva Gregory here, and I wanted to pop in and talk about the difference between the discernment between are you out of alignment or are you out of your comfort zone, and what's the difference? Because there is this belief running rampant, especially among the woo-woo crowd, of which I am one, that being in alignment means everything just flows and it's easy all the time. And if there's any discomfort at all, then it means you must be out of alignment. So here's the thing. Sometimes the best alignment will produce something that you might consider a challenge. So if you think that perfect alignment means you never have to think again, or you never have to direct your thought again, or that you never have to, once you're in the flow, and if anything feels out of the flow, then obviously there's something wrong and you're going down the wrong path. Think again. That is so not true. Not all the time. Now, it doesn't mean you can't experience a feeling of being in flow where, whatever you do feels like the red carpet is rolling out before you. I have those experiences all the time. And maybe it feels like sometimes the seas are parting for you, or you're on the yellow brick road, right? And it's so awesome when you know that, wow, I'm the creator of my reality and I'm creating this and I get to play out life like this, right? Okay, it can be that way. However, never feel uncomfortable if you experience hiccups along the way. That means you just need to do some adjusting, okay? You got to remember, all of us are molding and sculpting our reality along the way. And if you think about artists, they don't just do a paint stroke and decide that the picture is done. They're tweaking, they're honing, they're refining. Sculpture's another great example. They don't just put something out and then say, okay, that's it. They refine it, they hone it, right? And so this is an opportunity for us to refine what we're focused on around what we want. So whenever it feels like something's gone wrong, first of all, don't freak out. Secondly, understand that it may not be that you're out of alignment. I hear things like this all the time, like I must not be living right, or I must not be hearing my inner guidance, which is not the case, or I need to meditate longer. Actually, what you need to do is you need to allow your life to come to you as it comes, and let that contrast serve you to create greater clarity and to understand there is a huge difference in being out of alignment and being out of your comfort zone. These are completely different things. And a lot of times we take being out of our comfort zone as meaning we're out of alignment. Many times what happens is you're asking for what you want. You are being guided. And yet sometimes you are never out of alignment, but you have these areas of resistance, okay? And this is why finding your path, it's like we want to find the path of least resistance. So what does that mean? That means not that you are purely without resistance, but you're looking for the path of least resistance. So if there is resistance there, your inner guidance is going to guide you around those little paths of resistance, right? Does that make sense? So that means if you have those little areas of resistance, then it's going to feel like a little contrast. It's not going to feel like, the door just opened and I just walked right in. It's going to feel like I had to go this way and I was guided that way. And it feels like you're up and down and all around, and it's not a direct path. And yet, based on where you are energetically, your guidance is always guiding you to what you want. And sometimes that means going around those pockets of resistance, right? So law of attraction is operating on this vibrational level with everything that you've asked for. It's bringing it all together. It's creating the perfect unfolding based on where you are. And sometimes that means you got to be out of your comfort zone. This is where the growth and the expansion happens, outside our comfort zone. This is where trust comes in, right? So it's being in the adventure of the new growth and expansion. It's being excited about the new place you find yourself in. And then you dip your toe into the water a little bit and you feel your way from there. Of course, you want to always be reaching for thoughts that feel better, but being okay if you get out of your comfort zone, because rather than, if you're not being okay with getting out of your comfort zone, then you're not following your guidance. So that's the difference. Don't ignore what you're being called to because you're feeling a little uncomfortable. If you don't allow the growth in your experience, then you are stagnating. And we are ever expanded beings. So you got to appreciate the contrast, and you got to know that there's actually value in that. It all has its place, obviously. And so in other words, be willing to go for what you want. Be willing to step out a bit. Be willing to put a moment in time aside and be willing to participate with what's going on. The willingness to feel wonderful and excited about what you're stepping into, and being okay that it's outside your comfort zone. So here's an example of being out of alignment when you're being told the only way to be successful, let's say, is to make cold calls, and it doesn't feel good to you. You don't like it when others cold call you, and you don't want to do that, but you do it anyway. So now you're going against what you know is your truth and what is your values, which is very different. And when you do that, then of course you're not going to get the results. When you're out of your comfort zone, you want to be, let's say, a speaker or leading your own live events. It's a core desire you have. The cold calling may not have been a core desire. Now, if it is, then maybe that is in your, like, it's aligned with you, not so much for me. But if you're wanting to speak on stage and this is something you have the desire for, but you still freak out at the thought of getting on stage because it's outside your comfort zone, then that means you're still in alignment and you're being called to what you want. So I always encourage my clients to start small. You could do things like practice in front of a mirror or a good friend, and then you take the leap, or maybe you speak in front of a small group. But what you'll find is that you actually live to tell about it in the end, and you will feel so good that you did it. That's another way that you know. So it's really important that you understand that your emotions, and you want to embrace it, and you want to like it, whether it feels good in the red heart moment or not. That's another way you know. If it's a desire of yours and you're just feeling uncomfortable in the morning, but in the moment, but you really want that, trust it. I did that. I'm getting better and better at it. And there's always a next level that's outside my comfort zone. But what happens is you then begin to feel the confidence, and you know you're worthy, you know you're good. So much comes to you that lets you know that good things are yours to be had. So start saying things to yourself like, I know that my inner guidance and my higher self is aware of me, and that whatever I can conjure up in my mind, whatever I can imagine, whatever desires come to me, I know that I get to have that. And then you get to watch it come together. But be willing to step out of your comfort zone to do it. Feel it. Feel how big that is. Feel how big it is to have guidance and higher self aware of you, not just where you stand right now, but aware of you and intimately aware of your desires and how that all fits together. It knows where all your blocks are. It knows where your resistance is on your path, and it still knows how to call you around it. That's the key. Over and under it. It's calling you. It's calling you. And sometimes when you step out of your comfort zone into what you're being called to, it may not go the way you wanted to right away. So then you assume something went wrong. Nothing is wrong. It never went wrong. It was just the path of least resistance for you on the way to what you've been asking for. Even the bumps along the way, they're all part of moving you out of your comfort zone, but part of the process. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I hope it is. It's just understand your emotion is always telling you, I'm wanting it. The core desire is there, even if I'm feeling anxiety. And just feel the connection to your source and not assume something's wrong just because you're outside of your comfort zone. That's the thing I really want you to understand about the expansiveness that you're about. Because when you've lived something, then you launch this vibrational rocket, which you put into motion, something that really matters to you. And source energy knows that. Your inner guidance knows that. Your higher self knows that. And law of attraction then increases the momentum of that. And then it becomes more and more and more. The question is, are you keeping up with the expansion by being okay to step out of your comfort zone and into what it is and who it is that you're becoming? So I hope that makes sense. Difference in out of alignment and out of comfort zone. We always grow and expand as a result of getting out of our comfort zone. Otherwise, we would stagnate. So trust the process. Understand that outside of your comfort zone does not mean outside of your alignment. You are not out of alignment. You have a core desire for something. Know that you're being called to it. And no matter what resistance you have to place, your guidance is going to pull you up and down and all around through to get you to where you want to be. You be willing to stay the path. All right, that was it for now. Big heart hugs to all of you. And we'll see you in the soup. Bye for now.